Tesla stock is down nearly 38% in the past 2 months, and with Tesla takedown day happening this weekend, there's a lot of negativity in the overall stock market, but more importantly, Tesla stock. And with that being said, is now the time to buy more stock in Tesla and ride the upside? Or are we going to continue falling and potentially lose quite a bit of money for the rest of 2025? Taking a quick look at the stock, you can see here that we're around $260, and just about 8 or 10 months ago, we were around that $260 price point as well. So the stock has basically lost this massive gain that we saw during the Trump election time period in November and December, when the stock had this rally from $220 all the way up to $488. This was a massive rally. There's a lot of money getting pushed into the stock, and of course with any rally, that when the stock goes up, the stock is eventually going to come back down, and we've seen this happen before. If we take a look at the stock Tesla over the past several years, you could see with any massive rally there's always a massive pullback, and this happens over and over and over again, and it almost looks like it's some sort of meme stock. At the end of the day, it's a legitimate company, but it trades more aggressively than a lot of other big name tech stocks out there. And with this electric vehicle company taking over in many different areas and Musk pushing his political views, Tesla takedown day has been a big worrisome for a lot of people. And if you don't know, Tesla takedown day is happening March 29th. It is basically a day where people are going to go around Europe and the United States and basically vandalize Tesla locations. This includes Tesla showrooms, any type of factory or distribution center, and this is going to cause a massive riot in a lot of different areas, which is going to be very negative for not only Tesla but Elon Musk. And what Tesla is going to do about this, I'm not sure. But what we can do about this is take advantage on the stock right now, because we've seen the way that Tesla trades. Anytime the stock jumps up in price point in a short amount of time, it tends to fall in a short amount of time. And we've seen the jump and we've seen the pullback. Now we're waiting for this stock to kind of stable out and begin its next rally, because Elon Musk will announce something in the next couple weeks with this Tesla takedown news. And yes, he is more of a political figure now, which is bringing this negativity upon himself. And with the trade tariffs, market uncertainty, sales performance, and competition, there's a lot of negative factors right now pushing Tesla stock down. So it's not just one specific reason. There's a lot of things swirling around in the market right now, which is scaring people that own Teslas or own Tesla stock. So with that being said, why is now a good time to buy the stock? Well, we're currently at a price point that we haven't seen in several months, all right? But this $260 area has been touched and has been followed multiple times before. Now, if you're looking at this as a more technical level, this 280 to 260 is the range that we've been trading in for a little bit now, and I think that we want to be able to hold inside this range in order to move higher. If we can kind of break back above 280, that'll be a huge indication as we will gain some strength into the stock itself. But with that also being said, we have to break back above this red SMA line. This simple moving average line shows our overall direction of the stock. And anytime that we bounced off of the overall red SMA line and bounced again here, we pushed higher. Both times you saw a bounce, you move higher, because this shows overall direction. So if we can break back above this overall red SMA line, which is showing our overall direction, and jump to the upside, which is around this $295 to $300 area, if we can break back above that, I think you have a massive push higher on this name. And in the short term, that's a great investment opportunity for you traders out there that are going for more day trade, swing trade. I just added more stock in Tesla last week on Thursday and Friday, when we saw massive pullbacks on the name, because we're going to see another massive rally in this name to the upside in the short term. And with that being said, I'm going to take the opportunity to make that quick swing trade in the short term. But in the long term, what are you long-term investors looking for? Well, right now there's a lot of uncertainty. When there's uncertainty, that's the best time to buy stock in anything. So with that being said, trade tariffs, overall market uncertainty and market scarce, sales performance is down and competition is increasing. And with all that being said, you have to take a look at the overall political association, public perception that Elon Musk now has, and of course Tesla takedown day. So those are a lot of short-term negative factors. The only long-term one you should be kind of worried about is the sales performance. Like Europe, despite a general rise in demand for electric vehicles, Tesla sales are declining in key market areas. And this downturn is partially caused by other manufacturers, including Chinese companies like BYD, which are giving more of a market share in that type of environment. With that being said, though, that's our only longer term negative factor that we may see a little bit of a short term bounce on if we see some recovery in some of these other areas. That includes trade tariffs, overall market uncertainty right now with the overall market pulling back, protests and vandalism on Tesla takedown day, and overall Musk saying stuff as a more political figure. So with all that being said, yes, this is perfect for a short term storm, which causes the stock to drop. And anyone that's long-term this name knows that this is the best opportunity to load up into more Tesla shares if you are bullish for the long term. And that's why in the short term, I'm loading up in my short-term account. And in my long-term account, I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting to kind of see what happens. But with that being said, I think that if you get in under $300, even under $280, right now we're trading at $260. Let's see what happens Monday morning at market open. Kind of follow the stock. We have to be able to hold this $220 area. I know that's quite a big range, but $220 all the way up to $280, we've seen this massive fluctuation between the stock price before in the past. We saw it jump up to $265, back down to $220, back up to $265, $280, back down to $240. So we've seen it happen before where it trades at this sideways pattern. Let's see what happens in this area. We got to be able to add some shares below 280 ideally, and if we can get some shares and let the momentum push us higher after this recovers in the short term, that's a great opportunity to make some trades. So if you're a short-term investor, let's look to add some shares around this 260 to 280 area. If it falls back down to 240 to 220, let's see it hold 220. All right. In the long term, if we do approach this 220 area, I think this is a great longer term opportunity for you to get into some Tesla stock if you have not yet done so. But with that being said, Tesla stock overall has a lot of negative factors in the short term. But like I said, market uncertainty in the short term has been some of the best opportunities to buy long-term names. And like we talked about, Tesla stock will recover. And you know what? With all that being said, there's a lot of things that are going well for Tesla. They have many different strong areas, including their market leadership right now in the electrical vehicle space, energy, business growth, AI and full self-driving vehicles, the supercharger network, many different cost reductions, next-gen vehicles, AI and robotics. I mean, the list goes on and on. And overall, even if you don't like Elon Musk as a political figure, there's a lot of short-term factors that are hurting him right now that are going to be benefiting you in the long term if you jump in Tesla stock before it's too late. Now, obviously do your own research and due diligence before you do anything, but in my personal opinion, I think that the best time to invest in any company is when there's any uncertainty and negative factors pushing it down and you've done your research and know that it's a good long-term pick. So do your own research and due diligence before jumping into this one. Check out some other names in the stock market as the overall market is down right now. Guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time.